So today I want to suggest to you that you study astrology, even if it's just the tiniest bit of your own chart, as a way of doing magic, which is to say bringing about your destiny. And I want to explain why I say that, because we have a tendency, because of the way that we've been enculturated, to believe that whatever we study, whatever it may be, in theory, we're studying something that is. It's a fact. So for your chart, if you believe in astrology, then in this way of thinking that we've been told, then this chart shows you what you are. So if you study your chart, you're learning what you are. But I'm suggesting no, that's not what's happening with studying astrology. It's much more powerful than that. So the thesis here is study your chart not to learn who or what you are, not to learn what you have been, not to explain your past to yourself, but rather to learn what you will have been, or in other words, your destiny. And to explain that, I want to talk about Magick, the province of the god Thoth, Mercury. So you can also look at my video on Mercury about magic. But here I just want to focus very closely and briefly on the fact that your whole universe is a product of your true will, and that's something that you won't recognize. It'll be strange and foreign to you. You'll be at odds with it unless you begin to consciously attempt to align your mind, your consciousness, with will. So let me start with Crowley's famous definition of magic. This is in Magick in Theory and Practice. You may have heard this before if you're into magic at all. He says, magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. Again, magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. So the whole crux of that is to understand will, because when we hear will, we tend to think, oh, willpower, to basically cause stuff to happen that I want to happen. It's to get money, it's to get sex, it's to get a great job, whatever it may be, whatever my mind thinks it wants, then magic is the art and science of causing that to happen, right? But will here has a very specific meaning that is much more like what the Christians would call God's will. So it's not you, the ego, it is you, it's you, the angelic self in Chokmah. I've said this before too, you are an angel who's taken this incarnation to channel will in a particular way. But I want to just focus a little bit today on the fact that will is unconscious, so that everything that's happening to you has a signification at a level that you probably aren't trained to recognize. So all this stuff is happening, and then your ego mind, your small mind, tries to make sense of it, has a lot of conflict, has a lot of discomfort when it's trying to do its own thing, and it may be running across or running afoul of your true will. So that's why to study the chart is to start to bring about your true will, to try to bring an alignment between your conscious self and your unconscious will. So I'd like to read you something from the magical and philosophical commentaries of the Book of the Law, on the Book of the Law. So the Book of the Law is a main Thelemic holy text, and the point here, I'm going to read from a comment on 1:7, so chapter 1, verse 7, and just all you need to know, I'll read the verse. Probably, if you've never heard the Book of the Law, this will make no sense. It's very short, but I want to just tell you that the person who is being addressed is Crowley in his guise as the scribe, and he's being told that this whole book is being revealed by his holy guardian angel, who's called Aiwass. And the holy guardian angel is basically this figure of will, this silent self, your God self, your angel, who basically is foreign to you. So you are that, but once you came down, you forgot, and now everything that's unfolding, your whole destiny, is in conformity with this plan. I don't know what to call it. That's a little bit misleading to call it that, but this structure. And so I want to read to you from this to sort of talk to you about your angel, because what he says to him, what Aiwass is saying to him, applies to each one of us as a spark of God or a star. He says of the holy guardian angel, but the small person of Hindu mysticism, the dwarf, insane yet crafty, of many legends in many lands, is also this same Holy Ghost, or silent self of a man, or his holy guardian angel. He is almost the unconscious of Freud, unknown, unaccountable, the silent spirit. And he continues, I'm going to skip a bit, and he says, it commands with absolute authority when it appears at all, despite conscious reason and judgment. And the line that this is a comment upon is, behold, it is revealed by Aiwass, the minister of Hurpar-Krat. Don't worry about Hurpar-Krat right now. Aiwass is the holy guardian angel, and he's revealing over 3 days the Book of the Law, which is the statement of the law of Thelema. And Crowley, the point is, Crowley he did consciously open up a space for this to happen, but he was never planning on this happening. You can read the whole weird story in Equinox of the Gods. But the point is, Crowley the man, the conscious ego, did not really consent, in a sense. He did eventually consent. It took him some years after receiving the Book of the Law to consent to, okay, fine, this is my job, I'm the prophet of Thelema. But just like Crowley, every single one of us has a mission. I mean, maybe in some cases that's not the best way to put it, but we all have an intent, an original intent for coming here. And our chart shows us that. That is the symbolism of our whole life. So you can look at it as your cosmic function. When someone comes to me and asks me to do a reading on the true will, in the end, they're the authority on that. I can only give them some ideas and some impressions, and then, I try to set it up so that they're in charge of that, because I can't know your will or their will. But what I can see is an artifact. What I do know is that their chart is an artifact. Your chart is an artifact of your cosmic function. So you as the angel chose the chart. So the chart reflects your unconscious self. And again, every last thing that's coming into your life is a reflection of that deeper, unknown, silent part of you. And magic is basically as a process of becoming a magician or climbing the tree, is basically first getting a sense that there's something out there besides you, the ego, becoming aware of your holy guardian angel, in other words, then entering into relationship with it, and finally becoming one with it, so that there's no distinction between your personal will and the true will. So let me come back to your chart and why to study it, to find out, or rather to bring about, what you will have become, what you are in the process of becoming, your destiny, bringing about your destiny. So if we understand that the chart, the astrology chart, is the symbolism of your whole incarnation as you, the angel, or your silent self, is making it happen, then when you study your chart, you're actually taking a magical act, you're doing a ritual, you're basically telling your unconscious, hey, I want to know you, I want to know about you, because it's really me. And so by studying it, even again, if you just study your nodal axis, you study only your part of fortune, you study just your sun, moon, and rising, whatever you pick, even if you don't want to go through the whole, torture of learning astrology, then you could basically start a seed of a process by which your conscious self becomes into alignment with the true master of your universe, which is your unconscious self, your holy guardian angel, your true will. So I just wanted to point that out, that you shouldn't think about astrology as learning what you are or what you've been, but rather, again, what you will have become.